This video is going to cover how to search library databases, and in particular we're going to focus on two databases, one that comes from the provider EBSCOhost and another from Web of Science. The best place to start when you want to access any of the library databases is the library web pages. From here you do have a library search box that you can use to search for journal articles, books, ebooks and a whole range of materials. So certainly use the library search as a starting point to identify a range of materials. We're going to concentrate on the more subject-specific databases. These enable you to get a more tailored, focused search because they will only search across journals within that specific discipline area. So to access those, if you scroll down the library web page and look for the link that says Databases A to Z by subject. If we look at the subject listings, pick the faculty that you're aligned with and then look at your subject area. I'm going to go with Education and Childhood Studies. As you can see at the top, there's a list of key databases and related pages as well. So if you do want to look for theses and dissertations, there is a link at the top right. This lists the key databases within that subject area, and then it also identifies other useful databases. So get familiar with your own faculty page and you will get familiar with the best databases in your own area. Because I'm looking at a topic related to education and higher education, I'm going to pick the education database, Education Research Complete. This is provided from a company called EBSCOhost, and it is one of our main database providers, so it provides a good example that many of you will use when you're searching databases. Click on the Connect button. We are now into Education Research Complete. As you can see, you have boxes that you can enter your key terms, and you automatically have the Boolean operator AND to connect your search terms. I recommend putting all your separate key terms into the different boxes and using the Boolean operator OR to connect your alternative terms within the box. Just as a way of example, the topic we had earlier, we identified key terms. We had the word technology, we had the word postgraduate, and we had the words higher education. So the first thing is to identify your key terms from your research question or research topic area. I've separated these out with the AND, and I'm going to click on search. As you can see, we get a good number of results coming back, 615, and these are journal articles that are indexed across a range of education journals. Obviously you can start looking through those, but we've potentially missed a lot of key papers because we haven't applied any advanced search techniques. We need to apply truncation to look at different word endings, and we need to think of synonyms or alternative terms. So if I tweak my search, I'm going to apply the asterisk to technology, so I'll find technology, technologies, technological, or I'm now going to put in some alternative terms. And again, I'm going to put the truncation to search for those different word endings. So that will find electronic, electronically, digital, digitally. Postgraduate, they might say postgrad or postgrad hyphenated. So think about alternative ways of describing the same subject. It may just be that it's spelled differently or, as in this case, hyphenated. We want to search for the phrase higher education, so we can put double quotation marks around that phrase, and we're going to add the alternative university or universities. So you can see we've tweaked our search, and now if we run it, you can see now we've more than doubled our search results. We've now got 2,537. That's because some authors may have written about those topics but not used the exact terms that we first entered. These databases will look for the exact terms you put into them. So that's why it's really important to think of different word endings and different spellings and alternative terms. The downside now is we do have quite a large number to sift through, but there's some really useful filters that we can apply to our search. If we scroll down, we can firstly apply a date range. So we might just be interested in the last 10 years. We just want up-to-date research on this topic area. As you can see, that's now eliminated quite a few from our results. If we click the filter academic journals, these now bring back those high quality peer-reviewed journal articles. And the other filter that's worth applying is the language filter. So I'm going to pick the English language. As you can see, quite quickly we've now got down down to a more manageable number. We can tweak it further. We can add more key terms to narrow our search. So if, for example, we were just interested in the UK, we could type in UK or United Kingdom or Great Britain or England, etc., and put in all those alternative terms. Another way to limit your search is to search in a specific field. These default to select a field, which means those words will be searched in the title, the abstracts and the subject heading, and that's the best place to start. If you do need to narrow your search further, identify your key term out of your search words and maybe search for that in the title only. The danger to that is that the author might have written about that topic but not explicitly use those words in the title of the article. But it generally does bring back more relevant results because that keyword is in the title of the article itself. So that's another strategy you can use to narrow your search. So I'm going to go through these results. Any that you're interested in, you can click on the title and you can see you get the author, the source of information, the journal title. This is really useful, the subject terms. They're useful for identifying other alternative terms or synonyms you might not have thought about using. And then the abstract, again, another good way of identifying key terms. Also from here we have a direct link to the full text. So where you see PDF full text, you can click on the link and go straight through to the full text. You then have an option to download it, you can print it, or you can simply read it on the screen. So the PDF ones are very straightforward to access. If you don't see a direct link to the PDF, you'll see linked full text. Those ones we can still get the full text of, but you might need to authenticate. So you need to sign in with the university's details. So I would look for a login or sign in button. This one is coming from a company, Taylor & Francis. They will look slightly different depending which company is giving you access to it. So if you click on the Shibboleth link, we can now search for the University of Hull and we then have access to download the PDF. Access will vary depending which company is providing it, but generally look for some kind of login or sign in button. You might see the word Shibboleth, or it might ask you to select a region or a group, in which case it's UK Higher Education. Once you've authenticated, you can then get access to the full text. Unfortunately, you won't always get the full text of everything you find indexed in these databases. Sometimes you click Find at Hull and there is no link through to the full text. If you find that is the case and you really want to access that article, you can request it through the library's interlibrary loan service. So if you use the link from the Find at Hull button, it will populate that form for you and you can submit it to the library. Sometimes you click Find at Hull and you find that there is still a link through to the full text. This one you can see we've clicked Find at Hull and we do get a link through to Science Direct. So we can simply click on the Science Direct link, sign in with the institution's details, and then we will have access through to the full text. So that's an example of searching in one database, EBSCOhost. EBSCO provides access to a range of databases. If you click Choose Databases, you can see all the other ones that EBSCO provide. There is an additional education database called ERIC, so you can quite easily select that, click OK, and you're now searching across two databases. You would need to reapply your filters if you add the database afterwards, but you can see we've now increased our search results. And as you scroll down, it will tell you how many it's found in each of those databases. You can cross-search as many EBSCO databases at the same time as you want to. There is a range. There's Academic Search Premier, which is multidisciplinary, so will apply to all subject areas. There's specific business ones. There's CINAHL and Medline for nursing and health, psychology, there's sport, and there's language and literature. So there is a range of EBSCO databases that you can use. So this is one example. I'm just going to give you another example in a different database just to show you how you can move that strategy into another database quite easily. So if I go back to the databases link, this time we're going to select the database Web of Science. This appears on all of the subject listings because it's multidisciplinary, as does Academic Search Premier and Scopus. If I click Web of Science, although it's particularly good for the sciences, it is multidisciplinary, so it does cover arts and humanities as well. As you can see, it indexes science, social sciences, arts and humanities, and also conference proceedings, so particularly good for grey literature. On this database, we can apply exactly the same search strategy again. So if I put those keywords in, and if we add a row, we can now get a very similar screen to EBSCO. So I've now added exactly the same search strategy. I can do a time span. If I do a custom range, I can do from 2010 through to 2020. Click search. And as you can see, I've got 1,343. Everything in Web of Science is already peer reviewed, so you don't need to worry about adding any additional filters. You can add a language filter on here as well. And again, very similarly, we have a list of results. We can click on the titles of any of those that we're interested in. And again, we can identify key terms and read through the abstract. We get links here to the full text, various links, and we also have the Find at Hull button as well. One of the good features of Web of Science is it enables you to sort your results by the times it's been cited. So if I click time cited, rather than put it in date range, it's now putting it in the highly cited papers first. So as you can see, this particular paper has been cited 127 times. So this is a good way of identifying what those key papers are within your subject discipline. And you can click on these numbers and go through to all the papers that have cited it. Another good feature within Web of Science is you can see the impact of the journals that are being indexed. If I click on the name of a journal, you can see the ranking and you get the impact factor. A journal has to reach a certain level before it even gets an impact factor. So the fact that it has one is a good sign. And then it actually shows you how it's ranked within the category. So this journal is ranked 31 out of 263. So that's a fairly high ranking. The impact factor, the number might not mean much to you unless you're familiar with that particular field. So you might get familiar with what is a high impact factor within your discipline, but the ranking certainly helps with that. All of the databases enable you to sign in, create an account, you can save your searches, you can set up alerts, and you can also export your results.